So what were your expectations of coming to Dublin?
So firstly, before travelling, at college we had like a briefing, and my parents especially, they had a lot of questions about me staying away with like a host family, because this is obviously an experience which they'd never come across before, because this is the first time our college has had the opportunity to do this. So with my parents having questions about the family that I was staying with, because with it being an experience that I've never had before, they was more cautious about how I'd be, because obviously 2 weeks from home at the age of 16 is a big independency task. So for me, I was dead excited but also very nervous, but my host family did like go above the expectations. Like I was very, like I thought that it'd be a very family orientated visit, and that's how it was. Like we always sit at the table and eat together, and that's what I pictured. So it was nice to do that, and like automatically you then feel more comfortable, because you don't want to go somewhere and sit there and there not be any communication, because then I feel like you're more on edge, especially when you're coming into a different country. But yeah, so from my experience of my first week here, I've learnt that the host families, because obviously as a college we've all been split up into different host families, and that was nice as well, because applying for something where you know nobody, I've like got really nice friends now, but as well at the same time I've learnt that the host families are very different from each other. So you'll go to one and they can be very family, like we do everything together, sitting at the tables, but then there can also be host families where the students will go in and they'll have like the dinner made and everything, which is obviously depending on your board. But I think you've got to be very open-minded before coming onto the trip, because if you're not, then obviously, well, you might go completely expecting something and it'd be completely different. But to me, my host family, I was very grateful to have them, because they made sure that we'd have that communication, and they also took the time to show us around. And like we have a WhatsApp group chat, and in that our host family send us links of what's on. So obviously from not being around here, that's very helpful, and it's kept us busy over the past 2 weeks. Honestly, the food was what I expected. So like you'd have your breakfast, your lunch and your dinner. So for my breakfast, I'd come downstairs and there'd be 3 different types of cereal, and one of the girls that I was staying with has a condition called celiac, which means that she can't have anything with gluten in. So that meant she had to have something slightly different to us, but our host family made sure to like cater for that, and that allowed her to like feel, because like obviously at first she was very nervous about not being able to be catered for, but she was very, our host family was able to solve that for her. So we come downstairs every day and there's 3 different types of cereal. One of them is gluten-free, and then we have toast, and then we have like spreads in the middle of like chocolate spread, peanut butter, normal butter, and then you'll have just a drink. Like I'm offered a cup of tea in the morning, but obviously like I said again, host families are very different. So for some you might just come down and there'll be like cereal out, or yeah, but that's my experience. And then for dinner time, you'll have, so when I come back, I message my host family when I'm on my way back from work, and there'll be like a meal prep. So last night I had shepherd's pie, which was really nice. And so like you do have like main meals for like your dinner time, and then for lunch I'd say I have a packed lunch to take with me every day to work, and that includes sandwiches, a packet of crisps, piece of fruit and a chocolate. So just your usual packed lunch, but that's what we expected, to be honest, with coming over. So yeah, we're grateful for that as our meals as well, because they keep us full during the day. So a positive of being here was that we had LEAP cards, which gave us access to transport on trains, trams and buses. So obviously whilst we've been here, they've been really helpful for getting around. Like they've been our transport to work, and on they're so easy to use. Like you just get on the bus and scan it, and then one of the best things from this experience that I'll take away is the independency. Like your host family, like staying with a host family, you feel a lot safer. Like then, because in the past I've been to like Germany on a similar experience. So for that, having somebody to go home to, and it just makes you feel more secure. And they do have rules set in place. One of the main ones for my host was just to treat their home as if it was your own, because you wouldn't go and do something disrespectful in your own house, so don't do it here. There was a curfew time over the week, so Monday to Friday and on a Sunday, it'd be slightly earlier because obviously they're the working days of the week, and then the weekend we'd have a little bit later. Then again, I think that's quite fair from a host family's point of view, because I know for a fact that my parents wouldn't want me being out past them times anyway. So it does make you feel safe, but also it gives you that freedom to go out. Like you're in a completely different country and city, so it's nice to be given that independency and that people are trusting you with it. So
what experiences have you enjoyed, or would you recommend?
The experiences that I've had, the work experience has been a massive one, because that's completely different to my role at home, because I work in a kitchen, and here I'm working as an office administrator. So that was like an amazing experience to add to my CV and stuff for when I go back home. And the main experiences was just meeting new people. Like, although I've come with my college, because our college is so big, I think it consists of over 4,000 students. You've been able to get to know completely different people. You've had to gel with different personalities of people, and for that I think that's a life skill. So that's been really good. But also going out and seeing the natural beauties of Ireland, and it's amazing. I highly recommend this opportunity if you ever get the chance to do it. Little experiences that were typically my favourite was the miniature markets within the city centre, the trip to Hove on the train, which if you're lucky you can get to see the seals, which is like in the coastal side of it. Also there's many trips which you can pay to go on, and guided tours, which I'd highly recommend that as well. Going to see the St Patrick's Cathedral, I highly recommend that because it's absolutely stunning. And just, it's definitely one for sightseers, so I definitely recommend Overall, the people in Dublin are very friendly. That definitely eases your nerves of being a young student coming into a completely different country. Everyone is so friendly and easily approachable, of being able to go over and just say, excuse me, do you know where this is? And they're always very helpful. Like, I've found that every person I've asked, they've guided us the right way, and that has been great, because then again, like, I've always been too anxious at home to ask people, so now when I go home I'll be able to take these life skills back with me